Hello, everybody. You are listening to the Heel Turn episode 6. That's right, it is 6 episodes in now. Eat that. 6 episodes. I'm Jeremy Scheidel. That's all I need to know right now. With me, as always, the Grandmaster of Funk, Uncle Sam. Yeah. Hope you guys have had a pretty good week. I know I've had a decent week. Oh. We're going to talk about some pretty neat things tonight. We're going to talk about No Surrender. Okay. Oh, a little late to the show.
Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all you're getting today.
Oh, no. Man, what's gotten into you? You seem a little slow on the draw.
I am slow on the draw. I got railroaded by Austin Aries.
I bet. That sucked. Man.
Railroaded from behind.
I mean, is there any other way? You had a pretty good week?
Let's see, you're the one that knows all those terms. Is that like a pearl necklace or something?
What, being railroaded?
Or like what else is there?
I'm
There's,
guessing,
like,
I'm guessing to,
cheese or
no, I'm gonna guess, to be
the
railroaded.
big chef salad or something like that.
Gross. Well, I know the term putting the dog in the tub means putting your balls in someone's ass, because it's like putting a dog in the tub. It's really hard to do.
See, I knew you knew all these terms.
I know. It's it's I don't know where it comes from. I think it comes from boredom, man. Whatever. But railroaded, I'd say that's probably just a simple someone going into your back door, raw dog, no lube, just giving you the old steam engine in the back.
Boredom? I know this is from experience.
Yeah, probably the old steam engine in the back tunnel. That's what it is.
Okay, that's the name of my finishing maneuver. But
Your steam engine in the back tunnel.
this is great for all you heel turn fans out there, all three of you.
Especially you in Morocco.
Right, especially Don Morocco. Jeremy put together a actual structure to tonight's episode. We're gonna have predictions for this upcoming pay-per-view, the what's it called, Night of Champions. We're gonna discuss No Surrender, Raw, TNA, and we're gonna have a top 5 this week. It's
Wow, a top 5 this week? Man. I mean,
I'm
after
doing
the
your job. See, like what I'm doing right now is what you're supposed to.
after the past few weeks, I didn't know if we were gonna do it again.
See, you do this right away so people know if they want to continue to listen. And I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I'm not
They
gonna listen.
they already know they want to. But here, yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about.
They're not all 99%ers.
Sure, they are. But yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about TNA's No Surrender. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to watch it because I work 2 to 10, so that always cuts me off from watching any pay-per-view. Then we're going to talk about TNA, which I also didn't get to see. That's what we have Uncle Sam for, because he has the opportunity to watch these things when I don't. But then we're going to talk about Raw, which is plenty of things to talk about with Raw, especially Lawler. I cannot wait to talk about Lawler. Then, as Uncle Sam said, we're going to talk about Night of Champions. We're going to do the predictions. And then we're going to do the heel turn top 5 of the week, which this week it is top 5 musicians who would make great wrestling gimmicks.
Yeah, I love this list.
I am too, man.
And
Like I said,
let me just say that Uncle Sam supports the Occupy movement.
I don't even know if anybody's doing the Occupy movement anymore.
Well, Uncle Sam thinks it's a highly patriotic idea and supports it.
I think they all went and got jobs. They couldn't afford the big sheets of paper anymore. And they said, "How are we going to afford all this paper and all these markers? They're expensive." And somebody had the brilliant idea to get a job. And they said, "Well, if we all get jobs, then we can all afford this and we can all protest even more." But they're all getting like 40 hours a week because they got good jobs now.
Did you know those occupiers are fighting for your rights?
Where were they on the other night of No Surrender?
Yeah. Well, so you didn't watch No Surrender, so I'll give you a quick
Please do.
synopsis of what I.
Please do. I know.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, let me refresh my memory by looking at the results here. I'll tell you what I think.
Well, I do know
Um,
Jeff Hardy won. Don't like it.
yeah, give me cover my ass here while I pull up this page. Railroad my ass.
Raw dog.
Alright. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So there was Jeff Hardy defeated Samoa Joe in the first match.
Jesus
I,
Christ.
I was I was thinking, because he went over Joe during Impact last week, that Joe would win this one. I was surprised when Joe didn't. It was an okay match. I actually liked the one they had on Impact a little better. Bully Ray beat James Storm. Robert Roode came out, hit James Storm over the head with a bottle, setting up their year in a making match at Bound for Glory. It's kind of predictable that they would have a match. I kind of expected. I didn't know if Robert Roode would come in during the first round match or if he'd come in during the main event. But as it turned out, I was kind of glad he came in there. That was an all right match, but forgettable because of the outcome. And then there was a knockouts match, and then Zema Ion beat Sanjay Dutt. And I think Sanjay Dutt's an incredible athlete, but his moveset's unbelievable. Like he just there's his opponent has to do too many things to get into positions for him to do stuff, and to me it ends up being kind of sloppy. Zema Ion's an awesome champ, though. I think he's great. I love his gimmick. So the right guy won. In my opinion, RVD beat Magnus, and that was actually to me that was the third best match of the night.
Hmm.
Magnus is, there's nothing flashy about his offensive repertoire, but he put together everything. All of his moves made sense. I thought they had a pretty good match. I see Magnus getting better, which is cool. And then there was the World Tag Team Champions of the world, the Christopher Daniels and Kazarian beat AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, and that was easily the match of the night. That was fucking awesome. Kurt Angle was diving over the rope in a dangerous spot. He did a superfly splash. It was just a predictably amazing match from four incredibly talented pro wrestlers. Highly recommend that match. If you don't watch anything else from this pay-per-view, watch that match. Then the main event, Jeff Hardy beat Bully Ray, but Bully Ray delivered a fucking awesome promo before the match where it seemed like he was turning face. Like, it looked like he was, he was talking, in his promo, he was talking about how much he had worked hard for this opportunity to wrestle for, the opportunity to wrestle for a championship. But I mean, he was just so impassioned, like he can get. His eyes, like I thought he was gonna cry. I mean, I'm an emotional guy, so like maybe I was projecting my own. Like maybe I was about to cry, so that's why I thought Bully Ray was about to cry.
Yeah.
And Bully Ray came out, and he did a little tribute to Devon. He did the testify, or as the Catholics do it, it's the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, the Ghost, or whatever, the cross on your chest.
Yeah.
And what Devon always does, but since Devon's left the company, it was touching for Bully Ray to do it after a really cool promo, and then he comes out into the match, and it gets very strange. It was a memorable match because at a certain point, I mean, they did an angle with Aces and Eights had injured Hardy's shoulder, and so Bully Ray was working on Hardy's arm throughout the whole match, but then at a certain point, it just degenerated into each wrestler doing their finisher multiple times and each wrestler kicking out. I mean, after like the third, whatever Hardy calls his off top rope swanton dive, he hit him 3 times with it and then finally beat him with it. But it was just bizarre. I'd never seen that. It was kind of a short match, which was good. I mean, it was very hard to top the tag team title match, but I actually, once again, I thought Bully Ray, I thought this is his time to win. After that promo, the face turn, but like he even like shook Jeff Hardy's hand or gave him a fist bump after the match. Like it seemed like he was a full on face at the end of the match. But Bully Ray was my star of the show. Even though his offense still irritates me because he's a big guy and he's wrestled like a big guy.
Hmm.
But match of the night was Daniels Kazarian versus Styles and Kurt Angle.
Well, let me just stop you and say that already I am glad to hear that Bully Ray beat James Storm. Now I know last week I said that I prefer Bully Ray over James Storm, and so to hear that he beat him at No Surrender is just that melts my heart. Maybe it's because I've known Bully longer, and so I don't really know who this James guy is, other than he's the cowboy, and he's sorry about my damn luck. But
I'm sorry about your damn luck.
exactly. Then that's how he needs to say it, man.
That's how he says it.
No, he doesn't.
Are you saying I'm a better cowboy than James Storm?
Yeah, you are. You're way better than he is already, and you don't even wrestle. You barely have a bone in your body.
Yeah, but I got a bone where it matters.
God. Well, just so our listening viewers know, Uncle Sam does this show from his hospital bed, so that just goes to show you how much more of a cowboy he really is than James Storm.
I got straight scotch going through my IV.
See, there you go.
And Jerry Lawler had a bed next to mine for a little while. That was kind of neat.
It was. I bet it was, man. But, okay, I don't like the idea of Jeff Hardy beating
I got an
Samoa Joe.
autograph of my chicken wings.
Well, I guess that would almost be as awesome as when I got Tommy Dreamer's autograph. But
You never got Tommy Dreamer's autograph.
bullshit. I'll tell you all about it. My buddy and Andy and I, we went to Judgment Day a couple years ago. We were there a little bit early. And we were outside waiting for the show to start, watching some of the guys come in. And for those of you who like Randy Orton, that's fine. I just want you to know that he looks just as filthy and
There we go again.
and just as greasy as he does on television.
He smells like Old Spice.
He smells like something old. I'll give you that. Maybe like old cabbage. But the man just looks like he does not bathe. But it worked for him because he keeps his hair short, so you can't tell that it's dirty. But I promise you it is.
What's this have to do with Tommy Dreamer?
Well, okay. So we're outside waiting to come in, and my buddy Andy, he suggests we go over next door to, I think it was like Target or Kmart, ka-ching. And we get some drink, we come back, we hang out for a minute, and then I see this guy walking over closer to us, and I don't think a thing of it at first. But then I start seeing people walk over to him, and I take a closer look at this guy. I start thinking to myself, man, is that who I think it is? It can't be. But it is. It turns out it's Tommy Dreamer. And I'm like, I'm fucking starstruck, man. That was awesome. I think the last celebrity I met before that guy was the guy who played Carlton on Fresh Prince when I was a kid. And I went over, I asked for an autograph. He was real cool about it. I asked what he was doing. He said I'm here for the show. I was like, oh man, Tommy, that's really cool, man. Do you have a match tonight? Are you fighting tonight? No. No. I mean, I'm here pretty much along for the ride, but I'm here to watch the show too. Like, oh man, Tommy, that's awesome, dude. I mean, that's what we're here doing. And he said, I figured as much. I said, hey, thanks for that autograph, Tommy, Mr. Dreamer. That's really cool of you. He's like, hey, no problem, no problem. Well, you kids enjoy the show. I'm like, oh, we will, Mr. Dreamer. You too.
Didn't know that you're 30 years old.
Huh?
Little did he know that you're 30 years old and he called you a kid.
Yeah, I know. Still, man, you gotta respect the Dreamer.
Next thing you're gonna tell me is that Corporal Kirshner was blackballed from wrestling.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. I don't know where you got that idea or where you heard that.
Yeah, I mean, you hear all kinds of rumors floating around the internet.
You do.
True.
That's just ridiculous. I mean, I want to tell the viewers.
Anybody can have a podcast and just like spew lies, and people will take it as fact. And that's the problem with the world. People don't think that there's a global warming. People don't think there's and oil crisis. Because there's people with podcasts online lying about this shit. And for whatever reason, commentary has become fact. There's no real journalism anymore.
Unless you're listening to Heel Turn. Well, that's what we do.
Check all the facts.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to talk about Impact? Is that
Well,
right?
just real quick, I just want to say that though I didn't watch it, I don't like the fact that Jeff Hardy beat Samoa Joe. I only once in a great while should there be a David and Goliath match where David actually wins. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I agree 100%. Because, I mean, if David always beats Goliath, then what's the point? What's the build-up? What's the incentive of watching the match?
Exactly. Because it's Samoa Joe. Even his name signifies that this is a big guy. I mean, well, I can't say that. That you hear the name Samoa Joe, automatically you think this is going to be a big guy. Kind of like you take somebody who's never watched wrestling before, and you say to them Goldberg, Gilbert. Which one's more terrifying to you? And I'd put my wife on the line, my pregnant wife, and say that those people would 9 times out of 10 say Goldberg.
You've already lost your pregnant wife on the line multiple
I
times.
did. I lost her on full tilt poker the other day.
But to respond to your statement about Samoa Joe just sounding like a big wrestler, anytime you have a wrestler named after a continent or a large landmass, like, Massachusetts Steve, I mean, that's not a real wrestler as far as I know. But, I mean, he's Massachusetts, so he's going to be smaller than Texas Dan.
Exactly.
But, Samoa is a small island. Well, it's not even an island, is it? It's like it's Hawaii, right, or Polynesia.
Something like that.
We don't take the fact here on heel turn. Samoa,
Geographically, we don't know what we're talking about.
I think Samoa is somewhere buried in between Michigan and Ohio.
I was thinking around there somewhere.
Okay, well, let's see.
Probably somewhere off of I-94.
But yeah, I agree. David and Goliath matches, they don't work for me either. You don't see it. I mean, it's a major attraction when a boxer from a lower weight class moves up a weight class to
Yeah.
fight someone, and that's big money attraction. You don't do it often because I mean, you want to see guys in their own weight. Me personally, I like it when wrestling pretends to be real, and when you have a 180 pounder going up against, a 300 pounder in a fake fight or a real fight. I mean, a real fight, unless that 300 pounder can't fight at all, but I mean, the illusion of pro wrestling is that both of these guys are pro fighters who can really beat you. So in that case, the 300 pounder is skilled. He's going to take out the 180 pounder
Yeah,
every
definitely.
time. I mean, barring a miracle. And so, yeah, dude, I honestly feel Samoa Joe should be the world champ in Impact right now. They missed their chance there, but they're setting up. They're putting their most popular babyface, Jeff Hardy, in the main event of their biggest pay-per-view of the year, Bound for Glory. So, I mean, that's business-wise, it's a good move for TNA. But protect Joe, please. Like,
Definitely.
I'm directing this to Al Snow and Tom Pritchard, or
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Bruce Pritchard. Please protect Samoa Joe. I hate seeing him lose. I'm a mark for him.
Exactly, man. It's you have to be. The only thing that Jeff Hardy should have over Samoa Joe at all is maybe the possibility of having a bigger prick. That's it.
So you're taking it there. That's what you want to talk
I
about.
don't no, I don't want to talk about pricks. I'm just saying that's if anything, and I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Joe's got a fire plug.
Maybe so. And if he does, you know what? You're right.
It's a
You're
it's
absolutely
a
right.
it's a short, wide, powerful uh, prick.
He's a grower, not a shower.
Um,
But let's move on, man. Let's move on. We've been talking about this shit. Hey, my thoughts exactly. All right, so we're moving on, dude. We're moving on to Raw.
okay, so we're skipping Impact.
No, we are not. We're moving on to TNA, like I just said. You need to open your ears and listen when I talk to you.
I mean,
So
did you
tell
watch?
us,
You didn't watch Impact, did you?
you didn't get a chance, man. I worked last
That's
night.
fine.
Tell us
You
about
know,
it. Was it good?
basically, Impact showed three. It was kind of a lazy Impact, if you ask me. They showed three of the matches that happened at No Surrender. We got to see a rematch between Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy, which actually was a better match. We got to see AJ Styles one-on-one against Kazarian. Then we saw another spot fest between Sanjay Dutt and Zema Ion. Um, the only really noteworthy thing that happened was that I guess Tara turned heel on Miss Testmacher, but you
Hmm.
know, I'm morally opposed to discussing women's wrestling.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I mean, it's okay to move on to Raw. I mean, it was just a lackluster Impact.
Well,
Uh,
how about well here. I guess all I want to know is Styles versus Kazarian. Who won?
Styles, and it was a good match.
Was it?
Yeah,
Well, good.
I mean, it's always AJ Styles is the best wrestler in the world. I've decided, you know, he
Um.
is the best. He's the guy is so fluid. You know, like he never makes a mistake in the ring.
Uh.
All of his moves look good. I mean, I love his character. He's a funny guy. He's a good face, man. He's easy to root for. Like he's my favorite wrestler going in the business, AJ Styles.
Um. I don't know if you've ever heard of my friend Philip Brooks. You probably know him as CM Punk.
You think CM Punk's? I think CM Punk is. You know,
He says he is.
he's got bigger production values behind him, which makes him look larger in life.
He says he is, so it must be true.
This graybeard has once seen CM Punk in a TNA ring, and let me tell you, when you put him in AJ Styles' home court, I think any discerning pro wrestling eye can determine who the better worker is. And now I think CM Punk's amazing. I think he's a top 10 talent in the world.
So you're gonna disagree with Angle on that? Angle says he's not even in the top 10 and the best in the world.
Yeah, I disagree with Kurt Angle on that. I think CM Punk. You know, this is the thing about CM Punk. Like he can wrestle guys his size
Yeah.
and a little bit bigger, but when you put him up against a guy like Mark Henry, he looks terrible.
Yeah.
Um,
As he should. Yeah.
except for when Henry's shoulders are on the mat and CM Punk's arm is raised in victory, then it looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me. You know, I might be alone there, but like I would pick Daniel Bryan ahead of CM Punk because you know his offense is more believable against bigger guys. He looks like he can use their weight against them, and I mean, I think Punk just gets tired. I mean, they're on the road 300 days a year, you know, and he doesn't do drugs. And you know, my advice to Punk
That's
is
gotta be boring.
do drugs
Exactly.
because it's gonna help you in the ring. So, take performance enhancing drugs,
All the way.
and you will be a top 10 wrestler. I mean, you are a top 10 wrestler. You might be a top 5 wrestler, but you need to bulk up, and you need to do it and still wrestle 300 nights a year. So I suggest you take anabolic steroids.
You know, two things I love about Punk. A, or I guess I should say one, his constant changing of hairstyles. I feel like he does what I like. As he grows within the company, his facial hair and his hair changes. He gets it cut. And I like that.
You know the difference between Uncle Sam and Jeremy?
What?
Uncle Sam cares about what happens in the ring. Jeremy cares about wrestlers' facial hair.
No, no, no. That's not fair. I do care about what goes on in the ring, but I do like that he does that. It works for
I like
him.
his American tights. And then he went away from it. He went back to the Bret Hart tights.
Yeah. Plus his toys, as I've noticed, for some reason they look like they add like 20 pounds of muscle to each of his
And,
toys.
and his toy takes steroids. Why
It,
doesn't he?
I know his toy does drugs. His toy just looks like a mix of Kozlov and Sabu. But we're not here to talk about toys. We're here to talk about Raw, and we're here to talk about the greatest part of Raw Monday night.
Ezekiel Jackson.
Exactly. And then there was the second
You know
greatest
I
part.
love Ezekiel Jackson.
You have to love Ezekiel Jackson.
I
You have
think
to you have to you have to admire that man because you have to admit that guy has to love what he does so much to allow somebody his size to lose every match.
I think it's phenomenal.
It is.
I wish he was on Raw. He wasn't because for whatever reason, they think Jerry Lawler dying is somehow more entertaining.
Not by a long shot. Not at all. But let's talk about Lawler, man. Yeah,
Are we just going straight to Lawler? Let's hold on. I'm pulling it up segment by segment
segment
here.
by segment. Not a problem. Good idea.
Let's see. I'm trying to find it here. Where should I go? Where to look at that? Let's
The
see.
card.
Do you have it pulled up?
You know where I like to go? I like to go to SCScoops.com.
Ching.
Exactly. Well, if they have money, they might have money. I don't know.
Salad Monster.
Salad Monster. If I was that guy, man, I would definitely right now watch what I say. I'm not a religious man by any means, um, and I don't believe in any sort of hocus pocus nonsense. But the fact that, was a week or two ago he was talking about how Lawler needs to step down, and then that following Monday night, Lawler was not on commentary, and then and then that weekend on Saw Monster, following Raw, he's like, oh, it was pretty eerie how, I was talking about how Lawler needs to get off the table, and, there he's gone. Yeah, they used the Miz, but, it's just real strange that he wasn't there, and I thought it was really eerie. And then the next fucking week, he has a heart attack, and he's in the hospital, and Michael Cole could not keep his shit together. He had to stop. And it was neat because somebody actually had someone who was at Raw that night had taken pictures of Cole, and he's just sitting there at the table. He's got his hand on his face. But I can't blame him, man. He's sitting there, and here's this guy. He's having a heart attack right next to him. This guy he works with almost every day, every year. Lawler has to mean something to him.
Here's the thing. I mean, I guess we're not going to talk about the rest of the show. That's fine.
There wasn't a whole lot to talk about this show, man. Let's face it. Yeah, Brett was there. It was good to see Brett.
That's why I watched.
Exactly.
I watched.
Exactly. That's why anybody watched.
So, okay, like, alright. So,
How many
first
people?
match, Kofi Kingston, R-Truth versus Antonio Cesaro and The Miz
Yeah,
in a non-title match.
yeah.
It lasted, uh, let's see, Truth and Kofi won after 8 minutes. Does anyone give a fuck?
No.
Was it a good match?
Eh,
I didn't think it was a good match at all. Like, all I remember is, like, Cesaro bumping like a moron to like all of Kofi and Truth's offense, like just
yeah.
flopping like a fish out of water.
You're supposed to be a champion. Act
Yeah,
like one.
exactly. Like
Take a hit, man.
execute a reversal. I mean, it's not
Exactly.
his fault, it's how they book it, but it was brutal. And then there was like a Divas match that was brutal. And then I guess Punk was complaining to AJ Lee. Uh, Something forgettable, let's see then CM Punk versus Randy Orton. You know what? Now this is where it got interesting. I thought this was a good match,
Yeah.
and I never say that about WWE.
You really don't.
But I thought the Punk Orton, standing off was really good, and then of course, there was the DQ interference that led to Ziggler and Lawler coming out. And what was so great is like here's a 62-year-old man who dines on fried chicken all day, sits behind the commentator's desk, just stands up, gets into the ring without warming up.
Yeah.
I'm 34 years old. I gotta warm up before I freaking walk. And, I mean, I'm not that bad, but I mean, before you exercise, this is fitness for you, buddy. This is fitness 101. You need to limber up. You need to stretch. You need to do something. You don't just sit up from sitting on your ass, walk into the ring, and throw the drop kick of your life, and then climb up the top rope, throw one of your patented fist bumps, but don't stop there. No. Climb up the top rope and do it again. Like you're 24 years old and like you've been training your whole life. And then, start flopping around like a fish out of water for the next 5 minutes. Get your arm raised in victory, stand up on the ropes, just like, yes, I am the victor. And then go back and sit on your ass without cooling down, which Fitness 101 will tell you, you need to do that. You can't, it's climbing a hill, and it's not climbing a steep mountain edge. You gotta warm up, exert your energy, but then cool down. And any wonder why this guy has a heart attack?
Exactly.
I mean, I thought this was pretty good. For a while, I'm thinking, all right, if I'm Jerry Lawler, and I'm a fan of his wrestling ability, and like I'm a fan of the fact that he's 62 years old and he's banging 22-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like all these things, and he's an excellent, excellent artist, and I love his drawings, but I'm thinking Jerry Lawler, if I'm gonna die, I want to die after I just, had won a fake wrestling match where I've spent all of my career, and so but Michael Cole, of course, he's freaking out. I'm like, why are you freaking out? Like this guy died doing what he loves to do.
Yeah.
How do you want to die? I mean, like. Personally, I want to die doing what I love, and like that's banging a 22-year-old. But aside from that, I mean, isn't it much worse to be at home and like wishing you can wrestle, but you're stretched out on a hospital bed with a needle stuck in your arm? I mean, isn't it so much better to die right there on the canvas?
Fuck yeah, it is.
So, reluctantly, I decided, okay, I'm gonna say a prayer. And so, I bowed my head in reverence to Jerry Lawler and his family, and I wished them all well and a speedy recovery. So I saved Jerry Lawler's life.
What?
Yeah, I prayed for Lawler and he survived. And I don't know why I did it because honestly, he should have. I mean, he died doing what he loved, and like now when he's gonna die, it's gonna be something else. He's gonna be more precautious now with his heart surgery.
Yeah, it couldn't just be for the fact that alone that prayer is a waste of time. But I
I
digress.
saved his life.
You didn't save
What
shit.
proof of God do you need?
You
I prayed Jerry lives.
Oh, you might have saved a few pennies at Meyer. You didn't save Jerry Lawler. I, you know, I, you know,
And then the
I had to.
callousness of the WWE to like, the show must go on. We're just gonna scoot the dead bodies out, but we're gonna ring that bell.
Just kind of kick him underneath the ring.
I mean, that's BS. And then, they're like, okay, we're just not gonna have commentary. So you're watching this really surreal, like, you know, wrestling show with all these like, packaged videos with nobody commentating on them, and they're just showing. I mean, it's kind of neat. It's like, this is what it's like to be a deaf man. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. I still know what's going on, but at the same time, it's like just now's the time to break kayfabe. Let's everybody go into the ring, hold hands, and sing "Kumbaya" and pray for Jerry Lawler's well-being. No, instead, we get, all this happened during, the primetime players versus Kane and Daniel Bryan, the special friends or whatever they're called. But then, instead we get Alberto Del Rio versus Tyson Kidd. Poor Tyson Kidd can't get a break. The one time we see him on Raw,
Yeah.
he doesn't get commentary, and this guy's supposed to go out and wrestle a good match. These guys are supposed to wrestle a good match, and the crowd's not thinking about it. Why bother? Why do it? It's just crass. And then you go around, you go to these stupid websites, stupid wrestling websites are like, we really think that Bret Hart, John Cena, and CM Punk were great professionals. Fuck, man. Put them in an awkward situation. The crowd, all they want to know is, hey, is he alive? Fuck Night of Champions. We want to know if this corpse is ever gonna, prop back up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was definitely awkward to uh
What's the guy have to do? Fall out of the rafters, hit his head on the turnbuckle, and die in the middle of the ring? Is that the only way they're going to cancel the show? Oh, yeah, no, the show must go on. Let's scoot the body out, ring the bell. It's time. It's time. It's Vader time.
well, I mean, you gotta admit, only when there's a death in the ring does wrestling ever get any better than it is now.
I do admit that. But, I mean, while I'm at it, might as well just go check out all the Faces of Fear videos from the library
I mean, Faces of Death.
Faces of Death. And,
That's a good
yeah,
idea.
actually, no, I meant Haku and Barbarian matches. But, yeah, I mean, I watched the Faces of Fear. I'll watch a Faces of Fear match, and then I'll watch the Faces of Death match.
Oh, I'll see. Well, yeah.
Thanks for making me feel like a sick voyeur, WWE. Thanks for your carelessness of handling Jerry Lawler's true life-threatening situation. And no thanks to you, Jeremy, for not acknowledging that I saved Jerry Lawler's life with my prayer.
It's okay. You did no such thing.
And I feel bad for Bret Hart, man.
Yeah, I mean that's a hard act to follow up.
mean, I'm not sure if Brett and Jerry Lawler are best friends, but these are definitely two guys who spent a long time together. They've had a long program that they worked together back in the day, and you expect him to come out and deliver, like, knowing that his friend is in the hospital, like, he never said goodbye to him or anything, it's just like, dude, I tell you what, and I hate you, but if you had a heart attack, your wife called me, said, "Hey, you got to go in the hospital. Jeremy's in a heart attack." I would call off work and I would go see you, even though I can't stand you.
Well, of course you would, because let's face it, you can hate me as much as you want, but your life, your day cannot happen unless you have spoken to me for at least 10 minutes in that day. I'll admit, I think this past week.
Quit telling the truth.
I tell that it is, man. I think this past week has been the week I think this past week we have talked less than we have in a long time.
But I mean, you get what I'm saying.
I do.
I
I
call
do.
off work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to continue. Bret Hart doesn't have that luxury, apparently. He's working for that fascist Vince McMahon. Show must go on. I'll kill you if you don't go out and deliver a promo. You'll be the next corpse. You want to see Jerry Lawler? I've got ways of making you see him in hell. You're fired.
Oh, I mean, you're absolutely right. But let me say something real quick. I don't want to dwell on it too long because we got other things to do tonight. But for those of you out there who look at the Montreal Screwjob and think to yourself, that really happened, you must be the same kind of people who believe in magic. Alright, you have got to be the same people who when somebody does the thumb trick to you, like, oh look, I took my thumb off, you lose your minds and you go home and you try to take your own thumb off and you can't work the next day because you took your thumb off. Let me tell you, do I have proof of it that it was a work? No. But look at it. That was a work. Let's face it. The man, if it was, let's go back for a sec. The man got screwed, supposedly, quote unquote, screwed. He was going to WCW. He said, "Hey, just give the belt to somebody else, but don't make me lose it in my hometown."
My home country.
Home country. Don't make me lose my home country.
He's born and raised in Calgary, Indiana.
Calgary, Indiana. Oh, really? I thought he was raised in Dunlap. But I mean, he would not go back 10, 12 years later. If he really got screwed, he's not going to go back for no amount of money. Bret Hart's a good guy. He's not going to do that. It was a fucking work. Get it through your heads. It was a work. And it's okay. It's okay because that's what wrestling is. It's an illusion. And you have to understand that when you watch it. Because if you don't, then you're just being careless with yourself. And if you're going to be careless with yourself, then you shouldn't watch wrestling. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I will say, though, that little skit at the end of the show where CM Punk goes to take a shot at Bret Hart, and
Cena blocks it.
No, Cena doesn't block it.
Yeah, Cena blocked it, then he backed up, and then Punk went for another one, and then Bret blocked it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Then Bret clocked him. It was nice to see Bret move again, but the whole skit itself I could have lived without it. I don't even need to see Brad on the show.
To
Whenever
be
Brett,
devil's
whenever,
advocate, I'm going to say it was a shoot, the Montreal Screwjob. And furthermore, I agree with New Jack when he talks about where were all the well wishers for Kamala when he's getting his legs amputated. But yet Michael Cole is acting like a little bitch because someone has a heart attack. It's like, what? Because it was on TV? You gotta play it up? You callous bastard. You didn't give him two fucks about Kamala. Because he's black.
who?
Kamala, he's black.
You saying I didn't care about him?
No, I'm saying Michael Cole didn't care about Kamala.
Oh no,
When Kamala was having his legs amputated.
Michael Cole doesn't even know who Kamala is.
So fuck WWE for keeping the show going on. Fuck them for not caring about wrestlers who have heart attacks other than wrestlers who have heart attacks on live TV.
Yeah.
I think Michael Cole's tears were at work and the Montreal Screwjob was a shoot.
Well, I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I mean,
But by the way, I'm not really that. I'm not that bad of a person. I love Jerry, and I wish him a speedy recovery. And if you can see me right now, I'm giving him a wink of good luck.
yeah, that's not what you're doing at all. Probably over there playing with yourself. You love the thought of Jerry Lawler laid up like that.
I don't, man.
Me neither.
We don't want to lose a good artist.
Speaking of Jerry's art,
And I actually, I love the Honky Tonk Man. And I was so thrilled to know that Honky Tonk Man was wishing Jerry Lawler well. Because as long as I've known, those two were feuding. They're first cousins, and they've been feuding for years and years. And to find out that they've buried the hatchet and Honky wished him well, that was pretty cool.
yeah. Fuck yeah, man. Good for him, man.
Alright. Is it time for the Night of the Champions?
It is. It's time for the Night of the Champions predictions.
Okay.
Wait, give me some music. Give me some music.
Okay, let's see. Hold on. Alright.
All right. Here it is, guys. Heel turns. Predictions for 2012's Night of the Champions.
Night of Champions!
Now, first up, CM Punk versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. I'm going to say Punk wins. No shit.
I think you're right. I think Punk's gonna win.
You think Punk's going to win?
Yeah, because, like, what? He's gonna line with Heyman and they're gonna promptly lose the title? That's great business decision, Punk.
Well, I mean, they did have Cesaro taking bumps all over the place, and he's a champion.
That's true.
So, okay, so you say
By the
Punk.
way, that guy is a great worker, and we'll never know it. And Nexana is smoking hot. That we do know.
Ezekiel Jackson's a great worker. We'll never know it.
I love Ezekiel Jackson.
All right, so we both say Punk.
Yeah.
Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio.
I'm gonna go with Alberto Del Rio.
Thank you. Me too.
I think it's time. The dude needs the belt. Like, he's been, it's so old seeing him chase it, Sheamus. And,
Yeah.
it's time for Sheamus to get screwed by. Maybe Sheamus will work a program with Booker T because he can't use the bro kick. But, like, all the things are stacked against him right now. If Del Rio can't win, we can't believe his character will ever win in the future. So, please,
Exactly.
to God, let's put the freaking belt on him already.
I'm gonna ignore the fact he said that, but Um, yeah, it got. I remember it got so boring watching. Um, what's his face? I always forget his name. Jericho. Just for you, it always seemed like we're. It always seemed like he was chasing the title, always wanting rematches, and he'd get them, but he'd lose, and he'd never get the title.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened to Chris Jericho.
It was irritating.
Believe that you would ever win it.
Exactly.
I mean, they even worked that to a whole thing with Dolph Ziggler. It's like, you're a joke. No one ever believes you're going to win the title. And then what's sad is if Dolph Ziggler wins the title before Alberto Del Rio, that little vanilla midget Dolph Ziggler,
Yeah.
can't stand him. I'm sure he's a nice guy, and he works hard, and he would be a great cruiserweight champ.
He would. No, he's not a nice guy, man. Just real quick, I'll say I remember watching the thing. WWE, they have their own YouTube website now, or YouTube page. And they were showing videos of somebody on there once, and it was this guy, he was this overweight guy, and he just kept calling him fat. And it's like, come on, he probably enjoys your program. Don't call your fans fat. Be a star. Well, still.
That's good. It's good heel tactic. It's gross and it's
You can't say heel on
execution.
WWE.
It's not subtle. It's not subtle. But I mean, Roddy Piper would go down to Mexico and play La Cucaracha and call it the Mexican national anthem. Come on.
Alright, so we both say Alberto Del Rio.
Hey, is there a way to pause this?
No, there isn't. Why? What do you need to do?
Can't pause it.
No.
You're recording this on Audacity.
No, I didn't. Why? What do you want to do?
I want to go get my lighter for my car.
You go get your lighter.
You're gonna play a song for the day. How about that Tame Impala song?
No, because I don't want to get his band again. I don't want to get another.
Wait. I mean, AIM.
AIM Tampala.
AIM Tampala.
AIM Tampala. You go ahead. You go.
I'll be right back.
You go get your lighter. I will entertain the fans while you're gone. Hello, everybody. It's just you and me. Uncle Sam's not here now. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys in on something, man. There's this group I've been listening to. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're called Jex Thoth. It's JEXTHOTH. If you like them, awesome. If you don't, cool. But I would suggest, maybe give them a listen. Awesome stuff. Also, check out Tame Impala. That's Tame Impala, 2 words. Awesome, another awesome band, another Australian band. Good for them. They do an awesome job. Granted, they do sound a lot like, but the singer is very much John. Holy shit, it's you. What do you want?
I guess you were about to play a song, huh?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
No, I'm not like you. I don't like to get our videos banned. But, okay, so let's move on.
Am I fucking up the show?
No, you're fine. Oh.
I check the watch. Oh, God!
Did you miss me? I doubt
All right, so um,
Sorry about your damn luck.
all right, so after the Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio, it's Layla versus Caitlyn for the Divas Championship. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna
Wait,
go
we
ahead.
just did this. You're recapping Raw, right?
No, this is Night of Champions.
Oh, right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I don't give a shit.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and say
I know what
Caitlyn,
happens. I know what happens. Ezekiel Jackson interrupts the match,
and they beat him.
and it's a DQ victory for Caitlyn.
Here's my question: whatever happened to the women's title?
Or I don't know. They're not. That's not over the women's title.
That's the Divas Championship.
Oh yeah, they had both. No, I think they had a unification match. I think Medusa won. No, I don't know. She
Okay.
wasn't around.
Hey, who
I
fucking
don't
cares?
fucking know, man.
Yeah, nobody cares. Um,
I'm morally opposed to discussing women's wrestling.
yeah, me too.
Except for women's wrestling podcasts.
I would check out a women's wrestling
I
podcast.
just, like, if we're talking about the NBA, don't bring up the WNBA. Let's have a separate. We'll have a separate podcast to discuss the WNBA. But you don't. I mean, it's two different things. I'm talking about wrestling by men.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. You're absolutely right. All right, then we have The Miz versus Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio versus Sin Cara for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh God. What a lame build-up for a match. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes wins it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I have to agree. I think he is. I mean, I want to say somebody else just to mix it up, but I do think Cody Rhodes is going to get it back ultimately because I'm not a fan of either one of them, but if I was to put that strap on anybody, it would be Cody Rhodes. Or over the two, it'd be Cody Rhodes any day of the week. So if I had to choose from The Miz or Cody, um,
Well, it's just Ray's. I mean,
Ray's
Ray's
old,
been
dude.
there and done that.
Exactly.
I love Rey Mysterio,
But he's been
and
World
I think
Heavyweight
Sin Cara
Champion.
is, pretty okay, but
He needs work still. He needs to be there longer.
yeah, he needs a new theme song for one.
Yeah.
That theme song lulls everyone into
Exactly.
depression.
Exactly.
It's like by the time the matches start, you're still contemplating the meaning of life.
Definitely. I mean, it's you look at you take Brodus Clay for instance, man. You put the strap on him right now, it wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't be any
Well,
good.
no, I'm all about Brodus Clay winning it because I mean, he's ready for action. By the
Okay.
time he's done dancing, you're excited. You want to see a match. You want to see him win. I love Brodus Clay, man.
Well,
Like,
okay, I would definitely put the IC belt on him, but I wouldn't put anything higher right now. I
well,
would.
this is why I predict Cody Rhodes is gonna win. You want to know, or should I keep
Yes. Yes.
Are you tired of me interrupting yet?
No. You've been doing it for 7 years. Go on.
Well, I think Cody Rhodes should win the belt because it's white. Cody Rhodes wears all white.
Okay.
Alright.
Are you saying that if the belt was red, Sin Cara should get it?
I would predict Sin Cara would win the match if the belt was red. What happened to Blue Sin Cara? Blue Sin Cara was way better than Red Sin Cara.
Well, I liked the Black Sin Cara.
Sin Cara, or whatever, fuck.
What?
I'm pronouncing it wrong, right? Sin Cara.
I don't know.
Sin Cara.
There you go. It's Sin. Speaking of Sin Cara, eventually, maybe with my tax return money, I might buy his shirt, the Dick
I wish
shirt.
I could go down to Mexico and see Sin Cara.
All right. So we got Antonio Cesaro versus the Battle Royale winner for U.S. Championship. Um, we don't even know who's in the Battle Royal right now, so
I think,
I think he's gonna keep it.
I think, yeah, I think he's gonna win.
Yeah.
He's gonna wrestle JTG and beat him.
Oh yeah, man. Man, is that guy even getting matches anymore?
They should throw Dean Ambrose in that battle royal. Have him win.
I don't know. I don't know if they're ever gonna use Dean, man. He just sits back there twiddling his thumbs and playing Tetris on his phone. You know, he waits and he's before the show. He says, "Hey, am I going on this week, guys?" And they say, "Sorry, Dean. Not this week." Oh, okay, okay. Well, I'll just be over here by the Mountain Dew machine. Okay, Dean. Okay. Well, I mean, if you guys need me, just let me know. Oh, we'll do, Dean. We'll do.
Was he there? What was that thing when Bret Hart was walking to the ring at the end of Raw, and he passed, or it was John Cena was walking up past the ring, and there was some dude fidgeting around on a stool. Like I was watching it, I was like, 10 feet away from my screen, so like I couldn't make him out. Was that Dean?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
It was that.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at that. I want to know
It
now.
was. I had one of our heel turners, one of our heel turn maniacs, one of our heel turn creatures of the night contact us and tell us who that was.
Oh, real quick about Creatures of the Night. Just to let you know, um, our good
I liked it
my
the
good
first time
friend.
when Becky Horror Pictures the show sang about it.
Really, I liked it the first time when my good friend Mark Calloway. You probably know him as Undertaker or The Undertaker, but he once referred to people as creatures of the night.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He did.
Well,
But, far be it for me to call Jeff Hardy a thief.
yeah, you better not.
But,
I'll come over there.
yeah, you won't. They take the ladder away from your treehouse at night. Okay, let's move on. We got R-Truth and Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan and Kane for the tag team championships. Man, I'm seeing those belts go on Kane and Daniel.
Yeah, me too. Because they got that stupid anger management bullshit.
Yeah, they do.
You would never see that shit during Bruno Sammartino's run.
No.
I mean, if you want to know how far wrestling's degraded itself, just go back and watch a match from the late 60s, early 70s. Look around the audience, see all these people dressed in suits and hats and women in dresses, and they're dressed in their Sunday's best, and they're there to not have their intelligence completely assaulted.
Well, let's be fair. In the days of Bruno Sammartino, would you even see as many black men in the ring?
Hey, that's a touchy subject.
That's a yes or no question.
There's
Yes
no
or no?
wrestling, man.
You're
They're
right.
all what it is there's racism in the promoters only as far as they predict what their audience wants. They thought back then the audience wasn't ready for a ring full of black guys. Okay?
Yeah.
So they didn't book more than really one black wrestler in the mid card. It'd be like Tony Atlas or Rocky Johnson or going back earlier, Bobo Brazil, or Ernie Ladd. But it wasn't. I don't think they were mistreated behind the scenes. I think really it was just unfortunate there weren't more jobs. But were there really that many black men who wanted to be pro wrestlers at the time? I mean, I look at UWF. They had Junkyard Dog as their top dude, which was a great choice. I mean, one of the best, most entertaining, easy to love baby faces of all time. Um, we'll have to do a top five of greatest African American superstars list. So
Definitely.
I would
Absolutely.
like to talk about the subject at length, but we were still doing the Night of the Champions.
We were. Okay, let's get back to this. Let's get that over with. Okay, so Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler. I'm gonna say Orton wins this one.
I hope so.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with my gut here. I'm actually gonna say Dolph wins it.
What's the point? I
What?
think he's got to lose because he's got that money in the bank. Because this doesn't isn't the stipulation the winner gets a title shot,
Yeah.
or is that my imagination?
Could well, I mean, it could be. I don't know. I'm not gonna say
It's probably a figment of my imagination. I hate Dolph Ziggler.
because we're not we here on heel turn. If we don't know the facts, we don't bullshit you. We're not here to bullshit you
Yeah, dude.
like you might hear in other podcasts.
Did you know Hacksaw Jim Duggan is blackballed from wrestling?
That's ridiculous. I don't know where you heard that, but it's malarkey.
Yeah, it's malarkey.
So who did you say? You say Randy Orton or Dolph Ziggler?
I'm going with Randy Orton.
All right, so there we go. That's the only one we disagree on. And there you have it, folks. It took damn near 20 minutes, 25 minutes to do the fucking thing. But we finally got done. We are done now talking about Night of Champions. And now we are now moving on to my favorite part of the week. It's my favorite part of the show, but probably my most exciting part of the week. It's time for Heel Turn Top 5. This week, as I said before, we are doing top 5 musicians who would make awesome wrestling gimmicks.
I love this list.
Like I said, man, it's a back pocket list because I'll be honest with you, folks, we did not prepare for this one. For some reason, we have not talked on the phone barely at all since the last show. And my wife, she'll tell you, she thinks it's weird that Uncle Sam and I talk as much as we do.
I hear crickets in the audience.
That's fine. That's you. That's just you grinding your teeth. All right, so
That's why they're sharp.
yeah, probably because they didn't get that way from eating vegetables. Okay, so you want to go first?
Sure.
All right, go ahead. Who's your top 5?
Well, I'll start with my number 5.
Exactly, that's
This
exactly
is
what
a
I meant.
guy I always thought would make. I mean, I'll use him as my number 5, but even as a kid, I thought that there's no reason for this guy not to step into the ring and be a major contributor right now. That's Henry Rollins.
Awesome, good choice.
But you know what?
Hmm.
CM Punk. That's Henry Rollins. See, the history of pro wrestling and rock and roll is a great one because I think they're always imitating each other. One's feeding off the other. Mostly wrestling's feeding off rock and roll. They just wait 20 years, but then they do it. Like now, 20 years after the inception of straight edge and hardcore, we finally get a hardcore wrestler.
Yeah.
CM Punk. But I mean, Henry Rollins. I mean, that's the same exact gimmick. Those two. I mean, but yeah, that's my 5. Go on. I'm sorry.
Your number 5 is Henry Rollins. I think that's a good choice.
Sam show.
No, hey, I love it. I love when you talk, when you open your mouth.
He loves me.
I do. It's gross. My number 5 isn't as high up there as Henry Rollins. I wish I would chose that one, but I didn't. Um, you will probably disagree with this. I would actually like to see these. My number five is like 7 or 8 different guys, maybe 9. It's like a faction, and I love it. And I'm talking about Slipknot.
Good choice. I'm for it, dude. I'm for it. I love
Uh,
masks. I love
exactly.
masked wrestlers. The more bizarre the mask, the better. I think a faction like Slipknot would be a phenomenal addition.
Even the band name.
You can team up with Kane.
Exactly. Exactly. They could be his little minions. Fuck yeah. Who's your number 4?
My number 4, and this is before freaking Triple H stole it. I'm gonna go with Lemmy Kilmister.
You know, I almost went with Lemmy. I totally agree with that, man. Lemmy would be so choice as a wrestler.
I mean, it's obvious that's what CM Punk's having a crisis now. I guess somebody's got to be rocking the Lemmy mustache at all
Definitely.
times.
Well, I mean, if you're going to, if you're ever in a crisis or a crisis of any sort in the wrestling business, pull the Lemmy mustache, dude. Bring you right out of it. And call yourself the game or the best in the world, whatever.
Yeah, dude. We know what Lemmy's like in wrestling. He's marries the daughter of the CEO. Lemmy's the smartest guy in the room, man.
Oh, definitely, easily, easily. Are you ready for my number 4?
Yeah.
Gary Glitter.
God, yeah. Absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, I'll say that Jerry Lawler does his best Gary Glitter impression. You know, not really, but I mean, yeah. I mean, the glam rocker. I mean, that was definitely happening at different points. I mean, we had the Freebirds were Southern rock, but they had some of the sequins. I mean, I'm thinking Jimmy Garvin. He had the sequins. But any wrestler really, with sequins and, uh, the Elvis quaff, or whatever that word is. There's an homage to Gary Glitter somewhere there.
oh yeah, easily.
But yeah, dude, great choice.
Fuck yeah.
Let's
Who's
see.
who's your number 3?
Okay, my number 3, I'm gonna go. Let's see. This is a little bit of a strange one. This band's a little obscure. I don't know if our heel turn listeners would know who they are, but it was this German industrial band from the early '80s. I mean, throughout the '80s. I want to mispronounce it, but it's Einstürzende Neubauten.
Play us a little bit.
Play a little bit?
Play us a little bit of Stroben.
Okay. Well, since I mispronounced it, we won't get boycotted, will we?
I don't know. They probably even know what the hell it is.
Okay, here we go.
I'm liking that. That's good.
Okay, well,
Don't want to play it too much.
the singer, his name's Blixa Bargeld or something like that, but he's this tall German. Well, obviously they're German, but He's probably 6'3". Never is not seen dressed entirely clad in black. He's a Nietzsche loving, you know, absurdist, German Dieter cliche. I
Yeah.
think that'd be a fantastic gimmick if it was in wrestling. I mean, the pretentious German artist.
Yeah.
It needs to be done. I think Berlin came very close in WCW.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been done yet, and I would love to see it. I think Cesaro could almost go that route, but you got to get way pretentious. Christopher Daniels has got some pretentiousness, drinking the absinthe, and
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I would love to see it full blown German style
Fuck
with,
yes.
with lots of Nietzsche.
There you go.
So that's my number three or two or whatever.
That was your number three. My number three is Danzig.
Yeah, well, you can't go wrong. I
No.
mean, it nearly happened.
Nearly. Yeah, it nearly happened. Um, the man is the part. Not only does he look the part at all times, but he is the part. That man, whether he watches pro wrestling or knows what pro wrestling is, that man is pro wrestling.
Yeah, dude, I agree. I mean, he was the greatest misfit, in my humble opinion. When the Misfits actually did start wrestling in WCW, it was cool. I liked it, even though they were marks. They didn't know what was going on, apparently.
Yeah.
Um, Jerry Only is 50 years old, probably thinks he should be world champion. But, yeah, Danzig would have been the best choice of any of the Misfits. And, I think he would be exactly what WWE is looking for. They love short guys.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they just don't want any dick envy, really. That's all it is.
Andre the Giant was 6'6".
And he had a pecker like my pinky.
Only the facts here on Fox News.
All right. What's your number two?
Okay, well, it's kind of a toss-up here, but I'm gonna go with Ted Nugent.
All right.
I mean, he's kind of he's almost an American version of Lemmy in some ways,
Yeah.
in appearance.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they got the facial hair and the wild. I mean, well, he's more of a wild man though. Like Lemmy is just like, I mean, they both probably have cool motorcycles. They both, fuck lots and lots of beautiful women. But there's the redneck aspects of Ted Nugent's what would make him a good wrestler, I think. I
Oh,
mean,
definitely.
we get the one stereotype of a redneck in Stone Cold. We get another type of stereotype of redneck in Hillbilly Jim. But you need that third, that wild man, Ted Nugent style redneck.
Well, I will say, Mister, with your number two, you stole my number one. But that's fine. That's fine.
I'm
Because
sorry.
no, that's
I
fine.
just went with my other.
No. Go with that because that actually makes room because my number two was a tie. So,
Okay, let's hear
but
it.
I totally agree, man. Ted Nugent all the way. Real quick, I'll tell you this. I was working the other night. I was working overnight. This guy came through the drive-through where I work, and not that I work fast food or anything, but came through the drive-through, and he was like, this dude just kept talking to me, would not stop talking to me about about his love for music. He showed me a picture of his living room, and you would love this guy, dude. He just a wall of records, and he was talking about how he used to open record shops for Nugent. And he's like, man, that guy. Every story you hear, if you ever hear a story about Ted Nugent being a total asshole, it's true, man. That guy is a prick. And he's like, let me tell you right now, I've known Ted Nugent for many a year. And that fucker, he did dodge the draft. I know he did. You know why? Because he stunk up my apartment when he did it. He didn't bathe. He didn't wash any part of himself. He didn't wash his clothing. He would mess himself. He just did everything he could to make himself look insane, so they wouldn't take him. Not to kill, the idea of Ted Nugent, but yeah, that's what that was.
I always heard that he was a good guy. I've known, for whatever reason, out here in the Michiana area, it seems like every male barber I ever have has gone hunting with Ted Nugent and they have a story about it.
Well,
I have so many top number ones, it's hard to pick who I would. I mean, can we do some honorable? This is such an awesome list. Can we do a couple honorable mentions?
Yeah, let's
and I'll give you my number one.
Go ahead, man.
Or do you want to do the honorable mentions afterwards?
Yeah, let's do them afterwards.
Okay.
Also, I just want to say right now that this is already our longest episode.
Holy fuck. I can see why. You introduced the list as addicting as this one.
Yeah, we're already almost at an hour and a half. But go on.
Okay. My number one. Now think about this. John Fogerty.
Okay.
He is such a good guy. He's your perfect babyface champion, John Fogerty. If you can find someone with his charisma, he's humble, he's, honest, hardworking. I mean, he's just got a believable persona that you can't hate. Anybody who hates CCR hates music. And they're pretentious. If you can't find something about CCR's music that you like, they'd be like, oh, I hate his voice. You hate honesty. When you say you hate John Fogerty's voice, that's what you're saying.
Let me just tell you right now that John Fogerty and that beautiful band of his, you're right, you can say anything you want about those guys, but those are some real fucking salt of the earth motherfuckers.
Yeah, dude.
They know what it is.
Those are 4 white boys with soul.
Yeah.
That's hard to find.
Anytime you can find anything bad to say about CCR, all you're doing is saying something bad about yourself.
It's true.
So keep that in mind next time you open your pie hole to say something bad about CCR.
Yeah, suck my dick.
Exactly. Alright.
So you like my number one?
I do.
Okay, good, cool.
Alright, now on to my number 2 and my number 1.
Oh shit, I totally kicked your ass.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Number 2, Johnny Paycheck. And if I had to put a hardcore belt on anybody, and if I was a booker, I would put it on Johnny Paycheck. That guy, he just looks like trouble. When I look at him.
You're saying you like Johnny Paycheck, but you don't like Cowboy James Storm?
No. Don't argue with me. I'm sorry. When I see Johnny Paycheck, I just see a rough and tumbling kind of guy, man.
Well, I'm sorry about your damn luck.
Hey, don't worry about it. Okay, my number 1 is. You ready for this? It was Ted Nugent, but has just been replaced by
Wait
Hank
for it.
Williams Jr.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like that one.
Yeah,
I
there you
like that choice.
exactly.
Fun loving, shit kicking. I mean, he'd be somewhere across between like Brodus Clay and
Austin.
yeah, Austin, who likes to have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm digging
exactly.
it.
If you don't
I
know
actually I
who,
have no clue who Johnny Paycheck is. What was his song? Take this job and shove it.
oh, yes. Uh, and please don't take her. She's all I've got.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard you play that one numerous
I like
times.
that song. That's a good song.
That song. You can't pick a wrestling gimmick based on one song.
No, you can't. Well, it especially you can't. I mean, it's a song about love. I don't want to hear about love during wrestling. I hate that, man. I hate love
Well,
interests.
well, so now you're conceding Johnny Paycheck was a terrible choice.
No, 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 not at all. I think he's got a good look.
All right. Well, I'm gonna dish out my honorable mentions real quick.
All right.
Okay, G.G. Allen.
Oh,
It's
beautiful.
my top consideration for he just narrowly missed the list just because he could only wrestle in ECW.
Yeah.
WWE would never let him strip down and defecate in the ring. And
No.
then let's see, I'm gonna say my number two honorable mention would be David Lee Roth.
Nice.
I mean, he dressed. I mean, all the wrestlers dressed like him. The Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Rockers, the fucking Fantastics. I mean, they all were inspired by David Lee Roth. I'm gonna say Tupac, but that gimmick's done to death. But
Yeah, man.
it's it's a gimmick every roster needs to have. I mean, we got JTG and WWE, and TNA doesn't have that guy. I mean, the Pope is their only. Well, Kenny King and the Pope are their only African American representatives right now. Now that Devon's left, but I guess Hernandez is kind of the thug, but he doesn't play it right. There's something missing in Hernandez. He's like this black hole of charisma, but I digress. I feel like I sound like a racist.
You are a racist.
I'm not a racist. I mean, I hate white people, but that's about it.
Yeah, I know you do. It's strange.
Okay, and then Iggy Pop,
Yeah.
he would be an honorable mention. I think he could definitely do, like the PG version of what G.G. Allen does. I mean, they probably wouldn't let him, like, scratch his chest open with broken glass or anything.
Yeah.
But he could still, like, smear peanut butter all over himself.
God.
And then, Adamant.
Nice.
Get a good pirate going on there. So, yeah, that was a super fun list. Thanks.
No problem, man. I mean, we may have to come back to that one again someday.
Yeah, there might be some more that pop into mind.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime. We'll do that again. We'll do part two, part three. If we ever get to part 10, that's fine by me.
Yeah. Yeah, I just did a top 10, I guess.
You did. That's, so, good on you. All right, folks. Well, um, that pretty much is the show for tonight. Just a quick final thought. Um, I understand. I understand a lot of people don't really care for wrestling, and that's fine. You know, it's not for everybody. And people don't understand why we like it. But the reason, the real reason people like wrestling is because it's an illusion. It is. Turn that off. You're screwing me up here. I can't think. um, you know, some people like sports entertainment. I don't mind sports entertainment. You know, it's fun. It's fun. You know, whatever. But I love wrestling because I love me a good illusion. And that is all wrestling is. You look at two guys wrestling, one guy lifts one guy over his head, and he throws him on the mat, and you think to yourself, wow, that guy is really strong. But the thing you don't know, it's the guy who's being lifted over the other guy's head, he's the one doing all the work. He's the one he's lifting himself up there. You think this other guy is doing all that by himself? Absolutely not. No, it's the other guy. But you don't know that.
It says Chavo Guerrero Jr.
There you go. And that's why. Because for I don't know how many years, I don't know when it started, but when I found out, when I actually sat down one day and I started reading about wrestling and how it's actually done, that's when I knew this is something I'm going to love for the rest of my life, because I never knew that was happening. And some of you probably didn't know that was happening. I say go out there. Learn all you can about it. Don't read, I mean, you read books, man. Read Bret Hart's book. Read Austin's book. You can read anyone's book, man. But really learn about wrestling. Learn how it's done. And it is a dance. It really is. And you can say all you want. But when I see those guys in the ring doing what they're doing, sometimes, especially the older times, I'm impressed. You know what? And I'm especially impressed by the fact, yeah, Lawler went in there and gave himself a heart attack. But god damn it, he loved it. And I bet you anything, he does not regret doing it. That heart attack was totally worth it for him. And that's why I love wrestling.
Well, that was your final thought?
I think so. No, my final thought is I don't like rice. I don't like rice unless it tastes nothing like rice. But what I hate worse than rice itself is cold rice. You might not have known this, but during tonight's episode, I was eating beef fried rice right from the fridge, and it was just awful. And I slathered it with balsamic vinaigrette and washed it down with water, and it was ugh. But keep watching wrestling, keep loving wrestling, and if you do, keep hating wrestling. Because the more you hate it, the bigger it gets. It's just how it is. You can't kill wrestling, it'll always be there. But thank you guys for listening. This has been...
Wait.
What do you want?
That was your final thought?
What do you want from me?
Well, it was like a whole show on itself.
Was it?
And we're just gonna totally skip the song of the
day. What is it? Tell me what you're gonna play.
Well, then they'll ban it.
I know. Well, they're gonna ban it either way.
Well, let's see. We're gonna cut this off if they ban it. So
All right, all right, folks.
I'll show you how to do it.
This might be the possible end of tonight's show or tonight's episode. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and say goodbye, but it might not be. You might hear a song. So either way, it was good seeing you guys. Good talking to you guys. And we'll see you
All
next
right.
week.
Uncle Sam says good night.
See you later, everybody.
For those, this is the bonus material.